Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host Ray Goots. With me, as always, is Killer Kyle Lewis, and we are living dangerously. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling dangerous, and I'm excited to be living dangerously. So it's a song too. It's a reggae song. I don't know how much
Yeah,
reggae. Yeah,
that might have been where Paul Heyman. I feel like a lot of these were like song titles that he got inspired by.
I'm
We are
sure if
talking.
well, he didn't buy any music, but
You just we are talking about Living Dangerously '99. Before we get into match by match, blow by blow, I will say it is painfully obvious right now in 1999 ECW that the Hulk Hogan of the company, if you will, the top guy, the guy who should be the champ and the show should be centered around, is Rob Van Dam. We are 2 months away from probably the one of the most famous ECW matches of all time, which is Hardcore Heaven '99 with Jerry Lynn. Um, I just think that putting him on so early and then having everybody else afterwards kind of just shows how much more how further ahead he is than most of the rest of their top guys, and I think it puts them in a bad light. The show overall is good, but I think that I think it's a mistake not putting the world title on Rob Van Dam as soon as you could in 1999. What do you think?
I think they thought they didn't need to because they had the television championship. They had everything going with the TV title. He was elevating the TV title, and it was one of those things that it was gonna come if he didn't break his leg. Unfortunately, he broke his leg.
Mhm.
Uh, and was pretty much out till just about the end of ECW because I think they were gonna do Rob Van Dam and Rhino or something like that, and then they were done. But it also it was Taz is still there's still some juice in Taz. It's not like everyone hates Taz, so I
No, I
understand
know.
not giving him the title right away, but sooner than later definitely would have helped. Especially if you knew Taz was leaving. They went
They
with the
don't
Just
have
Incredible. I mean, when they find out Taz is leaving, they went with the Just Incredible experiment over Rob Van Dam, whose leg might have been broken by then. I can't remember,
not
but
yet.
no, yeah, but. I don't think now, but maybe like when you're going to TNN. Because if I'm shopping this to TNN and I'm like, hey, here's my champion, you're like, oh, cool. I like this guy.
Well, they have a lot of drama with the world title. Obviously, Taz tells them that they're leaving, and then they rush it on to Mike Awesome. And then Mike Awesome signs overnight with WCW. They got to rush it back to Taz.
Yeah.
And then put it on Tommy Dreamer for 20 seconds, which I kind of think they should just kept it on Tommy Dreamer. But Paul Heyman had in his head, in his heart of hearts, that Just Incredible was going to be the future. And I think in '98 that was true. I don't know about 2000. Certainly, we know that he wasn't the future of anything. He was a bum. Um, but
No.
I think this would have all been avoided if you just had the world title on Rob Van Dam the entire time. You wouldn't have had people coming and going and having to like work with WWF, and ultimately you have Triple H beating the shit out of Taz and Tommy Dreamer on SmackDown right before their big title match. It's just you would have avoided all that, and you just would have had RVD having 7-star matches like he's Kenny Omega.
Yeah, you could have had that. I think they're damned if they do, damned if they don't, because if Rob Van Dam still breaks his leg, you're in the same spot that you're in.
Yeah. Well, then then you take it where it comes. I mean, he was. I think if ECW lasted another 2 or 3 years, I think he still would have like centered the company around Just Incredible. He had it in his head. I think he thought like I think Paul Heyman thought in his heart of hearts that eventually he was going to do Just Incredible versus Rob Van Dam. He's going to sell at a stadium with that or something. Like I think he had that in his head. Absolutely wrong. Um,
No, he loved Credible. He loved Mike Awesome. That one can't, but I guess both of them went back to bite him. I think, I don't think Just Incredible was bad. He just wasn't what
I mean,
they wanted him to be.
he's still good. I mean, right now in March of '99, he's still like. I definitely see investing something in him, even in this era. It's just around the 2000. I don't know. It's just well, I guess when we get there. I mean, also there's not. Lance Storm leaves. Everyone's leaving in 2000. I mean, what are you gonna do? Put it on Chili Willy? I mean, come on.
I mean, they were almost at that point.
Yeah.
But they
So,
were a year away from Ring of Honor because I know I think he was like one of his earlier plans. He would have like if it stuck around, ECW would have kind of transitioned in the Ring of Honor, so you'll get the Punks and the Danielsons and the Joes of the world. But that's a long way away.
yeah. Yeah. Oh man, what a time would have been if he had last. I just don't know if he, you know, I still I don't even know how Ring of Honor really lasted. I mean, I never saw a full Ring of Honor show until 2022 when Tony Khan put the one on the night before WrestleMania.
You didn't go to any in New York? Any of them?
No,
Wow. Yeah, they
yeah.
had so many.
I know. I wasn't into it. I just couldn't get into it. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. When we get they start doing pay-per-views in 2007, and if Tony Khan hopefully has the archives up by then, if we're still alive, if he's still alive, if the planet's still running, when we cover the summer of 2007, which is your favorite summer, we're gonna cover the Ring of Honor
Don't
pay-per-views
put
if we
that on
can.
me.
But
I said, don't put that on me.
if we can find the Ring of Honor pay-per-views, we're gonna cover them. So yeah, but overall, I mean, I thought this was a good show with some severe lowlights. Some like, what are you doing lowlights? But overall, I thought it was a good show. What did you think of this show?
That was a good show for the most part too. I don't think there was anything that like super offended me. I mean, the Dudleys are the Dudleys, and I'm over it when they come out. And I'm just kind of counting down the days till they leave, and we don't have to see them on at least unfiltered ECW anymore. Um, New Jack and Mustafa was what it was. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best hardcore match ever. But overall, I didn't really have many issues with the matches.
Yeah, and I
Even
don't think
Balls Mahoney.
yeah, I don't think there's any like current news to go over. It seems to be pretty quiet. I mean, I think the Saturday Night's main event card is shaping up very well. Braun Breaker versus Oba should be great. Cody versus Randy gonna be a lot of fun. Solo keeps getting the push. There doesn't seem to be a lot of buzz about All In, but it is what it is. Ian Finance made a video where our good friend Ian Finance made a video where he worked on an AEW. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't seen that.
He 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 has a whole YouTube show where he like takes on jobs. I don't know how. I guess like now you can tell this is truly death cable that like people are just doing this stuff on YouTube. But he worked behind the scenes at AEW.
I have to look that up.
Yeah, so pretty cool that he got to do that. Ian's a good guy. He hates you. He told me that.
No, that's unfortunate. I got nothing against him.
Have you had him on your show? He's really funny.
Well, he hates me, so I guess no, I'm
Well, that's
kidding.
why he hates you.
I mean, well, we haven't talked about it. There's so many comedians in the world.
Well, he was at he worked at AEW. He's important.
Oh yeah, well, I'll put him on the show with the rest of the AEW guys.
He doesn't
No,
watch that.
no, we'll see.
Let me tell you, he doesn't watch this. I could give out a social security number right now and he'll find out. Anyway,
He'll find out.
oh,
But no, I'll
I don't
check him out.
see. This is how self-centered. I'm not talking. Listen, Ian Finance, great guy. How self-centered some comedians are. Some comedians are so absorbed. I could give out the social security number on here, and they're so self-absorbed they wouldn't think about me because I can't do anything for them, and they would literally be traveling the globe trying to figure out what before they would listen to this podcast. Well, some comedians also, not Ian
Yeah,
Finance. Find it out
no,
right.
he seems to be quick on it. But no, I'll check it out. I see Jeff Jones in there. Oh, 40 minutes. Okay. Oh,
It's a whole episode of TV.
yeah, that's a whole really like an hour, one of those hour dramas on TNT without the commercials. Those are like 40 minutes long.
Like it's like, isn't this crazy? Like, I mean, that comedians are like basically putting on TV shows on their YouTube channels. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, I think I mean ourselves included, you gotta do what you gotta do to stand out. And if the clubs aren't giving you if they're giving you the notice that you want, you gotta go out, do your own thing, especially if you have ideas, but you have money to support those ideas. Even if that's man on the street stuff, you just gotta make your own way, which a lot of, and also still be funny because a lot of people do the influencer make their own way stuff first, and then they get an hour, and you're like, oh no. But not naming any names. But
Yeah.
you gotta have the combination of being funny and being entertaining and making sure people want to come to see the comedy part and not like Ian do Jobs live. Like using him as an example, if he was Ian Fidance and he was just a like the bartender at the stand instead of doing his hour, or he did his hour while bartending. That's combining both odd jobs. But interesting time for comedy.
And listen, I gotta admit, like fucking, there's some comedians out there they can have a whole podcast. They just talk about what a piece of shit I am. I'll never know because I would just never listen to it. So some the
There's a
same way.
lot out there.
There's a
They're
lot of
giving
podcasts out there.
they're giving a lot of love to Psychosis recently. Psychosis is, I think, he's gonna be in the Cauliflower Alley Club.
Okay.
Um, he's
Yeah.
getting a lot of merch on like Suplex and other things. Like they're giving. I mean, he's getting his flowers, which is nice. I'm, a big Psychosis guy,
Me
but
too.
that's it's a surprise. In current news, yeah, the Saturday night's main event. This looks like the best Saturday night's main event in a long time, especially since they've come back. You got Cody versus Randy, and now Oba versus Braun. So they seem like they're actually trying with this one, with these two big matches. The rest of them have always been kind of meh. Even the John Cena retirement one. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see if that leads to anything. They're gonna have a very loaded schedule, at least on the WWE side, because I think they have Worlds Collide, which is gonna compete with All Out and the Chicago Wars, and then they have Money in the Bank, which is 2 weeks later. They got to do what they do best, or worse, depending on how you feel, is oversaturate pay-per-views after not having like a month of pay-per-views, which they seem to love to do. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to Sunday's main event, but I'm looking forward to us breaking down this pay per view. Okay, first up.
Also, Roman Reigns is officially a heel now, according to
Yeah,
the sheet.
I I don't I'm just it's just refried nachos. I'm happy for Solo Sokoa, but it's reheated nachos. I 3 years from now they're gonna do the same angle with Silva too. I just Jay and Jimmy and Solo are gonna and Jacob are gonna be yelling. No, it's gonna be Jay, Jimmy, and Solo. No, it's gonna be Jacob, Solo, and Jimmy yelling at Zilla to fall in line, and then Jay and Zilla are gonna beat everyone else up. It's just gonna be the same shit. I mean, this is just the Sami Zayn thing with Kevin Owens. I mean, but that was LA. It's just refried nachos. Uh, what are we doing? I mean, I'm happy. People seem to enjoy it. I think it's great for Solo, but this is like what Jey Uso. This is what Sami Zayn did. Jey Uso did. It's the same fucking bullshit.
It's the fourth inning. We're in inning four right now. I think. I don't know.
It's just. I guess Jay's a heel too. I don't know, but people are gonna dance to his stupid music. I don't know.
I think they figured out a way to get the money off of Yeet and all that other stuff and turn them heel at the same time. So 'cause we were gonna still cheer Roman and do all of this until he starts yelling at somebody. And then they're like, oh wait, boo, kinda. And same thing with the Usos. If they Yeet, they're still gonna say Yeet. They're still gonna do this thing. And then you'll get your Yeet money and you'll get the best of both worlds if you're in WWE marketing.
I'm gonna eat myself off a cliff. All right, here we
Oh,
go.
that I don't want. Nobody wants
All
that.
right, here we go. It's super crazy. For up first at Living Dangerously 99. It's March 21st, a week before WrestleMania. It's super crazy versus Tajiri. And this match is, this is the thing. It's not as good as the first match we saw, but it's still pretty good. Crazy wins, and Joy Styles goes, that's the end of the feud. Super Crazy has won once and for all. As we all know, this is not the end of the feud. But Super Crazy wins this match. I was thinking to myself about ECW because now we watched a few ECW pay-per-views, and I think the MO that ECW fans get now is that, oh, they loved all types of wrestling. They were so smart, they were so informed, and this, that, and the third. And this is like, I don't know, like every pay-per-view when Paul Heyman puts on a real graps, a real match, the crowd kind of just sits on their fucking hands. And last month, actually January, they chanted boring, and then Tajiri got him, which was fantastic. But here they don't chant boring; they just kind of sit there. And I'm gonna say this: I don't think until Hardcore Heaven '99, the ECW crowd appreciated truly great wrestling. I don't think they do. I think most of the time they sat on their hands for great wrestling. Maybe maybe the exception is Guerrero Malenko, but I think those guys at that point were like super indie stars, so people knew to pay attention to them. But like I think we had an old NWA AWA guy last year '98 try to have a traditional wrestling match with Too Cold Scorpio or something, and they were just sitting on their hands. They were just sitting on their fucking hands. So that's my thing. I think I'm realizing as I'm watching is that they did not appreciate real graps. What do you think?
I think, I mean, you mentioned Guerrero Malenko. That's the best example of them appreciating real grass. But I think that even they had to like win that crowd over
Mhm.
when they first started. I think people weren't, and they weren't in like extreme yet, but
Yeah.
they people were just not like really invested in it right away. And they outside of that, yeah, it does take a little while. It takes them a little while to get used to them. And this is like Asbury Park, so there's not really an excuse. This is like their main area in the tri-state. So maybe yeah, maybe it's a little overrated that they don't appreciate that they appreciate good wrestling. But yeah, I do think it takes them a little while because later on, Super Crazy Tajiri matches, they're excited off the jump. They're not like sitting on their hands. And like you said last month, they were also sitting on their hands. But yeah, you might be onto something outside of the Guerrero Malenko stuff, which they also had to work at. I can't really remember anybody else right now. I know Rob Van Dam took some warming up for them, and then
I mean, we've seen it
Lance
where they.
Storm, yeah, Lance Storm, it took some warming up.
Mhm.
Chris Benoit, which I don't really know much of his ECW run, but I'm sure they didn't
Well,
take to him
he
immediately
was
too.
he was kind of made when they claimed that he broke Sabu's neck. So
That I
that,
remember because they kept showing their hands and stuff.
yeah, that made the fans think that he was a very violent person, which they enjoyed, and he was a very violent person,
Oh yeah,
uh,
oh boy.
which they enjoyed, which they got a big kick out of. So he's a little bit different than Malenko and Tajiri and all these guys. But yeah, I thought this was good. It wasn't as
Oh,
good.
they liked Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I gotta go back, but Jericho also had like some matches where there's a lot of shenanigans. Like he has like this fatal four way with Pitbull number two and Shane Douglas. So he was
Yeah.
pure wrestling. So you
Also,
know,
if just a random, because I looked up Super Crazy. He's currently 52 years old. If you are pro AI knows it all. There's another thing here. It said who was the wrestler? Psychosis. So I clicked it, and it's a picture of Juventud Guerrera. So be
well,
careful with your AI searches, your AI overviews, people.
I'm always careful with AI. I don't trust it.
No, some people might think that this is psychosis when it's Juventud. If people take AI as face value.
What about Glutentude? Okay, so
If you want to be, you can be Goosey too.
so up next, it's the pay per view debut of somehow an ECW legend, Steve Corino. I got to admit, when he showed up on TV back then, I was like, who the fuck is this loser? Who the fuck is this fucking doofus? He just screamed to me, low rent. Somehow, and I think Dusty Rhodes had a lot to do with this. He gets fucking over and wins the title before the company goes under. And he's working for WWE. He's still on the indies. This guy has had a legendary career. Um, but man, just don't. I get like, oh, I'm an '80s heel in ECW. I get that. It just doesn't resonate with me. Maybe if I was 40 back then, I'd be like, yeah, this is great. Um, but I wasn't 40 back then. I'd be dead right now if I was 40 back then. So, I don't know. But Balls Mahoney comes out, beats the shit out of him. Quick match. What'd you think?
No, yeah, it was a quick match. I think they're showing that they have some type of investment in Steve Corino. I didn't really get into him until he like had the blonde hair and things like that. When he looked like generic Slav, I did not care that much. But yeah, it was quick to the point, vicious chair shot. I like to see that a chair shot just ends the match. You know, we get to see that that often. So good shots, good spot for ball. The Balls Mahoney gets a frog splash from like halfway across the ring as well, which I feel like Balls Mahoney is one of these guys as athleticism is slept on because
Yeah,
he's Balls Mahoney and Santa Claus and all these other weird things we've seen him do. But I think he's a slept on pro wrestler.
he's not talked about the way he should be, you know.
Yeah.
So, but
And he was
also,
charismatic too.
yeah, so he was good. I like Pulse Mahoney. All right, up next,
Mhm.
and this is a guy memory hold even being in this company. It's Little Guido versus Tafaz del Norte. I think they were. I think they tried to get this guy over, just didn't work. Little Guido actually wrestles a real match. This isn't like happy, goofy comedy bullshit. It's like he's trying. Crowd doesn't give a fuck. Match is over.
Cause they want the comedy bullshit.
Yeah, little Guido breaks up with the FBI. It's very weird. It did not get over. I forgot this guy was here for a cup of coffee. What'd you think of this thing?
I didn't even know who this was. I was like, "Who is this?" I'm sorry, I'm not up on this luchador. But I thought, it was kind of lame, and I don't think that people really wanted to see the FBI like break up. I think it was just confusing for people because they don't like any of them by themselves. So why would you break them up? That's how I
Yeah.
felt.
Yeah, well, I think they want to like I think they wanted to maybe make Guido a little bit more serious. I don't know. I mean, they eventually put it with Tony Mamaluke, and it goes back to what it
I like
was.
that team. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was interesting. It's an interesting moment. All right, here we go. Listen, fucking there are two guys. There are certain people that are meant to be doing this shit together. There's certain people you like rivalries that echo throughout the ages, and this is one of them. It's Rob Van Dam versus Jerry Lynn, and everyone talks about Hardcore Heaven, and we'll be talking about that soon. That match has changed lives. I think this match is it is so much better than everything that's come before it on this show. And I think like you know, the, I think that if Jerry Lynn didn't have these matches with RVD when wrestling was at its hottest, he wouldn't be where he is in AEW right now, which is basically like I don't know, he's like the Jim Ross or something. He's like Tony's right hand guy. Um, just a fantastic match. These guys go to the limit, then they keep going, and then Rob Van Dam wins. These guys kill each other. They're hitting each other through tables. This is how good this match is. I stopped hearing the whistle of Bill Alfonso. Sometimes, we started watching these shows. I couldn't concentrate on RVD or Sabu because of the fucking whistle. And the whistle just gets drowned out. And also, I think sometimes when Bill Alfonso really gets involved in the match, he forgets to whistle because he's actually watching the match. Um, this was great. This was fucking awesome, man. These guys, man, what a what a combo. What these guys really did a lot for ECW in its dying days. What a combo.
Yeah, I mean these two are if you're looking at wrestling soulmates, these two are wrestling soulmates. There you'll rarely find a bad Jerry Lynn versus Rob Van Dam match. Even some stuff in TNA is not as terrible as the other stuff going on in TNA. These two were meant to wrestle each other, meant to find each other, meant to keep ECW afloat. Like, and I think you're right. Just really helped. I mean, it helped Jerry Lynn more than it helped Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam was going to be fine, no matter what. But I think this helped Jerry Lynn get his job in the WWE. Well, when he does the WWE and the jobs that he has for life, it just reminded people that this guy, this journeyman, is not this guy in a mask, not just some nameless face. He's a damn good wrestler, and he and Rob Van Dam delivered every time. I got nothing bad to say about this match. Zero.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
know
it's
anyone
pretty.
who does. I think even cage match can't say anything bad about it.
What cage match?
You know the
Oh,
cage match people.
okay. I thought you meant. I thought you meant. I'm like they had a cage match. I don't remember that. Okay.
No, no. I think even cage match wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to be upset about it.
Can't listen. You can't knock the hustle. You can't knock the goots either. But that's all the. All
You need to
right.
find your
So
Jerry Lynn or Rob Van Dam.
listen, I loved it. Okay, up next, uh, we get a little video package from Sabu and Taz. But up next, we Jasmine Sinclair is the new queen of wrestling. Francine comes out, kicks her ass. I knew of Jasmine Sinclair from the Howard Stern show. Uh, it's funny. I haven't seen her porn. I've never seen her do porn. Kind of feel like this was a step down for her. I kind of feel like she should have just doubled down on the porn than doing this
Pro-
shit.
Probably.
When Francine comes out and they just do, I just like, I like Francine. I've interacted with her on Twitter. She's very nice. Seems like a very nice woman. But I don't know. It just seemed like so low rent to have like Francine beat up Jasmine St. Clair when she's like, again, I didn't watch porn back then, but I knew like Jasmine St. Clair. I knew Jenna Jameson. It's like, I don't know. It's like having a, I hate to say it, it's like having a homeless person beat up Jenna Jameson. I don't know. It's like, come on.
Yeah, go Holmes. That's a little, a little, a little much. But yeah, it was that's not really necessary. And then Francine comes out. I mean, a little later. I mean, they show that whole video later with the whole caning to the neck, so you think it's gonna be more severe. She's fine. She's on two segments. This pay-per-view. But yeah, they try to get some buzz. I think they try and get Jenna Jameson at some point too, right? I don't
Yeah.
remember if
Oh,
she
well,
did it.
WWE gets her. She's in a segment with
WWE got Jameson. Ugh.
yeah, she was in one of the Val Venus vignettes. They had a Bruce Pritchard had
Ah,
a friend who knew her, so they had her come by, and she basically did a cameo where she's in bed with Val Venus.
cool. I think they also just yeah, I guess nice, good for her. But yeah, I mean, you wouldn't see this today with any porn,
Well,
not even a little. Although Kendra Lust has posted that she's been at WWE events, and that is not the celebrity they interact with. They don't
well,
interact with her on Instagram.
I'll tell you who made like I think acceptable to put fucking Jenna Jameson on WWE TV is Howard Stern. I knew
Yeah,
of
yeah.
Jenna Jameson and all these people because of Howard Stern. We would listen. I would listen to it with my parents, and he made a lot of this. He made a
With
lot
your
of
parents.
yeah. My mom would listen like while we got ready for school and stuff. So
That's
drive me to school.
that's crazy.
But like it wasn't like Jen James was on every week, but like she was on and they would talk about her, so you would know who she was. And it's like,
Yes.
and then it's kind of like because he would talk about her so much and everyone was listening to it, it's almost like she's bigger than porn then, you know?
Yeah, she's transcended.
She's transcended the business.
Yes. She does
So
something now. I think she's pretty right leaning now, or was before, but nobody cared. And now I think she's a lot more right leaning. I don't remember.
I heard that I think she didn't she marry a
Oh,
woman?
she embraced in November 2025, she has embraced Christianity and received the sacrament of baptism.
Hmm.
So
When
good
they
for
do that.
her. Yeah, usually when that happens, which I hate that this happens, you find God and then you somehow go off the deep end. I don't like. I wish that wasn't the case with a lot of people.
The opposite direction.
But what happened?
You go the opposite direction. Like you start becoming
Yeah,
crazy.
they just go like nuts, for lack of a better word. And anyway, porn stars and wrestling,
All right.
the ultimate
So yeah.
tag team.
Speaking of porn stars, no, I'm joking. Next up, New Jack versus Mustafa. This was
I'm
fun.
sure there are porns of New Jack. I don't want to see them.
Please. This was fun. New Jack's just doing his New Jack thing. I mean, he's hitting people with keyboards. He's jumping on balconies. He's doing dives. He's hitting everyone that got the song going. Mustafa is game for it. These guys had a great time. I really enjoyed this match. What do you think of New Jack versus Mustafa?
I mean, it was fine. It was the splash is crazy. I mean, I know he has tons of crazy splashes, but to have Mustafa tied up and then the jump and almost missed the jump because it was. I don't guess it's not a New Jack match if he doesn't miss the jump, but or doesn't have a clean jump. But I think it was a cool way to have the tag partners like have this little match. I think this is their only match, right? Then Mustafa's gone again.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Yeah, but a good testament for watching it the way we watch it because these matches were unbearable on the network slash Peacock because that song is so
Oh,
bad.
oh. If this match didn't have that song, if this match didn't have that song, the show would become unwatchable.
Absolutely. I used to dread watching ECW on Peacock or the network because the music wasn't even like good replacements. It was just like, why does Rob Van Dam have surfer music? This is stupid. And New Jack was another one, but it's a New Jack match. You can't. I'm not too upset.
I'm very upset, actually. No, I'm not too upset. But then, because God hates the Goots, the Dudley Boys come out and they beat up New Jack, and then Spike Dudley and Nova come out, and then they get beat up too. And then fucking the Dudleys, there's no one left, and Bubba Ray just goes on and on. The show, I cannot stress how much of a grinding halt the show comes to. The show is fine until this. Uh, then Sid comes out, and what should happen is the Dudley boys are like, ah, and then Sid power bombs them. Instead, you got Bully Ray, and I can't believe Sid let him do this. He calls Sid the, I'm not gonna say it, the F word. Calls Sid the F
Yeah,
word, screams it in his face, stands there. Why the fuck? It was embarrassing. I was embarrassing because this is a guy who main evented with Hulk Hogan. That's rare air, okay? That's fucking wrestling royalty, all right? This guy main evented a WrestleMania when there were less than 10 of them. And Bubba Ray Dudley should be working in catering his whole fucking career. And he's standing there with his fat, stupid face and Sid's face, and Sid's got to just stand there. I'm like, why? Why didn't you just have Sid powerbomb these two idiots through 14 tables and call it a day? But instead they gotta go back and forth, and then Spike gets involved. And then Bully Ray starts like countering all of Spike's moves. Finally, Spike's pin him. Then Sid powerbombs Spike Dudley. I got a thing in the back. Bully Ray political. All it should have been is Sid powerbombs the fucking Dudleys, all three of them, and then that's it. That should have been the whole segment. He should not have been called the F word. I mean, even if you're okay with someone being called the F word, which I'm not, and I don't think anyone should be, it shouldn't be Sid. It shouldn't be a fucking guy who main evented two WrestleManias and you're fucking dinky. This fat, out of shape slob shouldn't be calling Sid the F word. But like the fact that like he's just standing there, horrible, horrible use of Sid. And let me tell you something. Sid is used like it has a lot of horrible segments in WCW this year. No, this is kind of flown on the radar. This is horrendous use of Sid. I was just fucking appalled on his behalf. What did you think?
I mean, I wasn't as upset. I was upset about the word. I mean, come on now. But
Yeah,
that's what the Dudleys did. It was they. That's their idea of heat. Just saying the worst possible thing ever to piss everybody off. But I mean, yeah, I thought when I saw the double choke sandwich, their heads collide, which is like, damn. I thought that was gonna be it for them, but that was not the case. It was they had a little bit of a match. Spike Dudley gets involved. Kind of overseeing Spike Dudley fighting the Dudleys. It feels like every show we have, they have to keep coming back to each other, and it's annoying. But no, I think if Sid they liked the Dudleys. That's the problem. If Sid was just knocked them out, they would have been like the FBI. But the Dudleys were actually a big deal no matter how annoying and frustrating they are to watch. So that's, I guess, why that didn't happen. But I don't know when Sid leaves. Sid leaves soon, right? He leaves pretty soon.
after hard. Yeah, he shows up at the Great American Bash '99
Yeah.
show. Yeah, so that's in June. So I think he has one. I think in May is his last appearance, and then June he's back with WCW, and he's got some stupid shit there too, but nothing. I really, people talked about the I got half the brain you do, which is '99. People talked about
I
like,
feel
what?
like those moments are now like endearing. No one's like as upset as they as
No, but this is like, oof, this is just, oof. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It is crazy. It is crazy to me, dude. It's fucking nuts. This is what you should never give up. these two, this fucking fat idiot has the best match at WrestleMania 2000. I'm talking about Bully Ray, Bubba Ray Dudley. From this to stealing a show at WrestleMania in less in a year. That is nuts. That is the most unpredictable outcome ever, ever. Like you're watching this guy, and it's like I'm like, and I said this at the last time we reviewed ECW. It is just nuts. It is just, and you
Yeah.
know what? And he doesn't like he does it alone. The Hardys have to if the Hardys fuck up their come up or Edge and Christian fuck their come up, that match at WrestleMania 2000 doesn't happen. And I think that
Yeah.
match actually gave this guy a career for the rest of his life.
No, they really did. I mean, it starts with the tables match in January.
Mhm.
If they didn't listen to the advice to change their gear, 'cause they had the Confederate flags and the tie dye, and they looked like they were walking into Walmart. So thankfully they changed their gear. They still look like they're walking into Walmart, but at least a little bit more fashionable. If they didn't do that, or they didn't listen to that advice, they have been able to coast on. Not saying that Devon is not a talented wrestler. Not saying Bully Ray does not have his moments, but they've been able to ride on the tables and this for to this day. He can
Yeah,
show up to any indie show, put somebody through a table and everything, make yay. So that definitely saved his career. Otherwise, they would have been released in like 6 months or
yeah,
less. Especially after The
yeah.
Rock insulted him.
I know it is wild. It is wild, and it'll be interesting to watch the journey that they go on, along with the Hardys and Edge and Christian. We'll get there.
Speaking
Uh,
of Edge, I just saw, not to bring news into it, it's not that bad, but he said, I guess talking about his WWE experience, because his last match was 3 years ago, as of this recording, uh, in WWE. He said, my experience by the end of WWE was overproduced, over rehearsed, over everything, and they kept handcuffs on you to the point where you really couldn't explore too much. That's not the case with AEW, and that, again, is fun.
he loves fun. So,
He loves fun.
um, I mean, um, I feel like WWE was already overproduced when he was like a big star, so it must be gotten really bad, you know?
I mean, maybe they just didn't want him jumping off of cages. I don't know.
I mean, he probably shouldn't be that age. All right,
He did it, and we saw what happened. But
all right. So here we go. Here we go, brother. It is. So I was actually I forgot. So I'm going to ECW shows during this era. So the clip where Shane Douglas goes, "You ain't a franchise, and you ain't a franchise. Tommy Dreamer's the franchise." Like, get the fuck. Like, I was there.
you were at
I,
that show.
what?
Hmm. You were at that show,
I was at that show. So yeah.
right?
So Shane Douglas has declared Tommy Dreamer to be the franchise. In reality, no four of these guys are the franchise. There is no franchise. They unless they want to go buy KFC and franchise that, there's no franchise here. Everyone's a disaster in this ring.
Little Caesars.
But we get the match. It's Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas, which Francine versus the Impact players with Jazz, Jason, and Dawn Marie. Um, Joey Styles goes off on Dawn Marie like she murdered his mother, and for most of the match he just stands there. And I'm like, it's harlot, it's Jezebel. So we're like, all right, dude, relax. All right, she's got to actually do something on camera for you to react like this. Um, so I'm sure he's just following orders, but it's kind of funny. So yeah, I didn't like this match 25 years ago. I don't like it now. 27 years ago, holy shit! I watched this pay per view the next day on VHS before I went to my friend's house to watch Raw and Nitro.
You have a very good memory.
Tommy Dreamer, I'm kind of over. I'm kind of completely over Tommy Dreamer. I'll tell you, man. Bully Ray and Tommy Dreamer really coasted on Rob Van Dam and these other guys, but this is just not it. This is just not it. Shane Douglas wins, and then they beat up everyone, and then Cyrus. And again, there's a way. We just went over this. There's a way for men to beat up women on shows, and there's not a way for men to beat up women. It's a fine art. He headbutts fucking Francine in the crotch. And it's like, I
Yeah.
gotta think that was like Cyrus, because we've heard rumors about Cyrus in TNA. That had to be like his fantasy. That had to be like a fantasy he pitched, and he got to do it. Um, he could have just, I don't know, fucking hit her with a low blow, I guess, like a kick or something. I don't know. Like, there's ways to do it. There's ways to do it that are like not, that are still like, oh my God, what I hate is Joey Styles, and he doesn't even sell it that much. Like that's like really like that's sexual harassment. That's not even like putting a woman through a table. That's like I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like it's fucking weird.
No, it's not. It's unnecessary. It's not like a. It's not like a dastardly caning her in the neck or the side of her head. That's a dastardly heel move. You putting your head in her bajingo is not a dastardly move. That is just you're having extra fun for
Yeah,
yourself.
yes. And again, like I'm surprised she said yes to that, but well, may I don't know. But weird. The whole thing with Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas, because I think Tommy Dreamer takes Francine after Shane goes to WCW. It's just like these four guys together is almost like negative chemistry. It's just not it. And it goes and goes and goes and goes. And it's just again, Rob Van Dam and Draylen being so early has kind of like fucked with everyone else on this card. I don't know. I didn't feel this tag match. What do you think?
I was. Yeah, I wasn't like crazy about it either. It's very long, but it. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's because Shane Douglas is another one we're not going to see very shortly in ECW. So I guess they're trying to pass the torch to Tommy Dreamer, and at the time it was fine. You're really anti-busted open today. Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray.
Uh,
I don't
Dude, I've
know.
never been a fan during the pandemic, watching TNA. He would keep putting himself on TV, and it was like I coined the phrase when Andrew Lee were reviewing. I missed those days when I would just review wrestling every day. We had a phrase, stench of failure, and that's
Oh,
Tommy.
come on.
Well, there's certain older guys that AEW and TNA cannot put on because
Mm.
they just have this air of loserness to them. And Jeff Jarrett and Tommy Dreamer are two of them. Like AEW having Jeff Jarrett feud with MJF, it was such a bad look. The only
It
company
was
that
like 2 weeks. Like it was.
it was such a bad look and never had a resolution. Like
Yeah.
WWE can get away with putting like Tommy Dreamer or Jeff Jarrett on TV in a prominent position because it's gonna look bad, but it's not gonna cost them. If you have Jeff Jarrett on your TV in 2027 or 2026 for that matter, or hopefully not 2020. Again, it's just like the stench of a loser. I'll tell you who else, even though I like this guy, Larry Zabisco. If he started doing like interviews for AEW, it's just the stench of a loser. And you got certain guys you can't like I can't help you. I'll give you
I haven't.
another good one if he was still alive and could move. Kevin Sullivan should never be on AEW TV. In the crowd, yes, but if like you gave him a prominent position, Dutch Mantel, another guy, don't fucking put him on TV. There's certain guys you can't put on TV because they just feel like fucking just feels like loserville, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. But because Tommy Dreamer's in that boat for you. I think well, he's not gonna be on TNA TV anymore, but
But he
maybe.
WTV ever. And
Yeah, maybe when they come back to Philly, they're always like doing that stuff for NXT.
I would shut down the show if the only camera angle I had, he would be on camera. I would just bear a test pattern to show him on camera.
Jeez. Did they have Dawn Marie? They had when they did their like extreme reunion, they had like Dawn Marie there. Um Tommy not Tommy Dreamer, Bully Ray, Rob Van Dam, I think was in the back. Something happened. I don't know. But yeah, I mean the match was what it was. I think this is especially in your case, these are the people that they're trying to push, and these are the people who are kind of pushing you away from ECW because you're not into them. And I think this goes on for a long time. I just remember Tommy Dreamer and Justin Credible feuding for a very long time. So this is not going to be the last we see of this kind of combination. Last to Shane Douglas maybe, but not Tommy Dreamer and Justin Credible.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Tommy Dreamer and Justin Credible keep going on and on and on. I think they're still wrestling this weekend somewhere. But
Oh, hell yeah! I'm sure if somebody booked it, they would have them there.
all right. Well, thankfully the main event is great. It's Taz versus Sabu. This is kind of the final time that these two have a big. I don't know if they've ever wrestled again, but this is the big payoff. It's Taz versus Sabu. These guys fucking wreck each other all over the place. These guys go for it all. This is Sabu's last big match. I don't think he has a match the next pay per view, and definitely by the summer he's gone, never to return to ECW. I don't count the WWE version, but for this version of ECW, this is kind of like his swan song. and these guys go all out. I really enjoyed this match. This match got me thinking back in the day. Wow, Taz can have such an amazing reign, and not really, but I love this match back in the day. It still holds up. I still think that RVD had the better match, but really fun. It's and and Taz offers the handshake, and they shake, and that's it, and that's kind of the end of the feud. And the next thing we see of Taz and Sabu, Taz is crying hysterically about him passing away on AEW. So really, really good stuff. Good stuff from Taz. I enjoyed this. What do you think?
No, I thought this was a good one. I thought this was a good match. I think, yeah, it's the end of an era between these two. Just how one of the prime examples of one of the best feuds in ECW. You got Tommy Dreamer and Raven. You got Guerrero and Malenko on a little bit of a lesser scale of intensity. And you got Taz and Sabu, Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn, another one, Taz and Sabu. These are like some of the feuds that really like stuck out in ECW and made ECW what it was. And these two delivered in their, I want to say, final match. And to go from a feud with there was no respect for each other to having at least the handshake respect, it's awesome. And I wish that there was more for Taz in a top star category and Sabu, but it that was it for him there. I mean, he still had matches, but we know
He
what
had
happens in the next year.
coming up, so yeah, so don't worry about that.
No,
But
yeah, he'll have plenty of matches, but I'm talking about like next year when we're talking about this, where just Taz is not getting the love that you think he would be getting.
in
He gets an extra Z, but that's about it.
3 years from now, he retires.
Yeah, which probably the smartest decision. But no, awesome match. Just a rivalry I always remember. Even you mentioned that he was in AEW crying about Sabu, but even when they mentioned that that Sabu was coming to AEW, and you heard the music, and he goes, oh no," which I think is like pretty great. Like he kind of like freaks out because he knows that like Sabu's coming. But no, awesome stuff from those two. They have one more
Awesome.
match apparently in October.
He did,
Yeah, someone on a TNN, like a short match on ECW on TNN, I guess.
and just highlights.
Yeah, I guess the highlights of a match.
Yeah, because I think Sabu's not there. All right. So yeah, so I would say if you like ECW, go check it out. If you want 18 minutes of Tommy Dreamer, this is the show for you. So
Give a
I
fast forward.
it's really well. No, if you're a Tommy Dreamer guy, there's got to be like one Tommy Dreamer fan out there. There's got to be like one guy. I fucking
No,
love
he
this.
has a ton, I think. I
Well,
think he has a what happened?
he weighs a ton. So that's for sure.
We don't gotta go there.
I'll go.
But he still has the ECW legacy. He shows up, people care. People want to see him. I did oh my God, what are they called? NAW. They're in LA. They came to New York. They did nearly average wrestling. They did I was me, Max Caster, and Tommy Dreamer on a panel. And yeah, people were happy to see Tommy, so it's not like people are disgusted by him, but you were just not one of the fans.
Well, they're wrong. All right. So there you go. Okay. Let's go over the next 4 weeks. Next week, it's WrestleMania 15. We're back to WrestleMania week on the podcast. It's always big. Only been 15 of these episodes. It's Steve Austin versus The Rock. Then in 2 weeks, it's Spring Stampede 99. We got Hogan versus Flair versus DDP versus Sting, Macho Man the Ref. In 3 weeks, Backlash 99, Steve Austin versus Rock. Then in 4 weeks, Slamboree 99, which is DDP versus Kevin Nash. What are you excited about?
Man, how do we get there? I'm gonna go with Backlash 99. I don't think WrestleMania 15 is that exciting of a show from my memory. And WCW is getting to its WCW-ness. So Backlash 99 it is.
Spring Stampede and Backlash, I'm excited for. They are Spring Stampede is the final good WCW show. The final oh wow, they're doing a lot of great matches here, and then things go to hell. I mean, also on Slamboree, which I didn't tell you about, was Charles Robinson versus Gorgeous George.
Oh, joy. All right. Can't wait.
So yeah, so Kyle, what do you got to plug?
What do I have? Like September 12th, September 19th, character select comedy at the stand. We are doubling up on shows. So September 12th and September 19th. If you miss September 12th, you have another opportunity to see us September 19th. That'll be fun. Uh, that's it for now.
Awesome. Yeah. As for me, subscribe to the podcast. Tell us what you feel. You know, fucking keep watching, keep letting us know. We're about to get to a couple of interesting shows, so stay tuned. WrestleMania is next week. Come on, man.
Yeah, Austin Rock won, at least at WrestleMania.
Yeah. All right, cool. All right, guys, that's it. We lived dangerously, and it was kind of exciting. We'll see you next week when it's WrestleMania. See you then, guys.